My dear students of class 8A and 8B, today I am introducing you a new chapter named Policies of British Expansion. Policies of British Expansion. Under the following points, today I am going to teach you. First, expansion of East India Company. The next one, expansion under Lord Wellesley, subsidiary alliance system, and then terms of the subsidiary alliance, terms of the subsidiary alliance, and last point, princely states. These are the following 5 points under this point, under the head of this lesson, policies of the British expansion, and points I am going to teach the following lesson. Now, expansion of the East India Company. The East India Company, acquired both wealth and political power over the next century. After defeating two Nawabs, Sirajuddaulah in the Battle of Plassey in the year 1757, and Nawab Mir Qasim in the Battle of Buxar in the year 1764. By defeating the two Nawabs, the first one was defeated alone because there was a conspiracy against him, but the British deserved no credit because of that conspiracy and plotting of Mirzapur and other, bureaucrats and nobles of Nawab Sirajuddaulah who betrayed him. But in the Battle of Buxar, which was taken place in the year 1764, Mir Qasim formed a confederate army with the help of the Nawab of Ayodh, Shujauddaulah, and Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. So the three forces, including Mir Qasim, three forces of the confederate army, the forces of Mir Qasim, forces of Shujauddaulah, Nawab of Ayodh, and forces of Shah Alam II, Mughal Emperor, fought against the British in the year 1764 in the Battle of Buxar. But the British defeated them. The British defeated them and forced them to leave. Forced Mir Qasim to leave the country, to leave the province of Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. But the thing is, now the British East India Company deserved credit by defeating the Confederate army of Mir Qasim, Shah Alam II, and Shujauddaulah. Then, after defeating the Confederate army of Mir Qasim, the British became overconfident, and between 1757 to 1857, the company expanded its territories in India, and then by means of any type of methods they adopted in order to extend their territories in India, by way of winning over the nobles, by way of declaring wars against the regional kingdoms, by installing puppet Nawabs, puppet rulers in different kingdoms, and by way of annexation, and by expanding companies' rule within the Indian subcontinent, they expanded their territories in Indian subcontinent. Under different governor generals and their policies, India, the entire parts of India gradually came under the control of the British East India Company. Now, expansion under Lord Wellesley. Expansion under Lord Wellesley. Who was Lord Wellesley? My dear students, Lord Wellesley was the Governor General of India. He was sent to India to expand British territory, and as a result of it, Lord Wellesley followed a system of expansion, British expansion in India by hook or by crook. So Lord Wellesley, the Governor General of India, continued his Governor Generalship from the year 1798 till 1805. he extended the British influence by means of one system he introduced. The name of the system was Subsidiary Alliance. Subsidiary alliance system he introduced. Subsidiary alliance system. It was introduced by whom? It was introduced by Lord Wellesley, under which several Indian powers were subjugated. Means several Indian powers were forcefully included with the British territories. Subsidiary alliance was offered to any Indian rulers who felt threatened by any external power, were asked to contact the British, and as a result of it, it was an offer given to the regional kingdoms for helping them, for protecting them from the side of the British, in order to protect their sovereignty, in order to protect their kingdom, protect their territory from being attacked by foreign or external powers. And in order to suppress the internal revolt also, they were suggested to contact the British. The British would protect them from all kinds of internal revolts and from all types of foreign external attacks. So by this way, they, under the system of subsidiary alliance and its term, many Indian kingdoms came under the control of the British East India Company. But ultimately, the British East India Company, on behalf of the British East India Company, Lord Wellesley framed certain terms and conditions of the system of subsidiary alliance. Certain terms and conditions of the subsidiary alliance. What were the terms and conditions of subsidiary alliance? Now I am going to teach you. Subsidiary alliance, there are certain terms and conditions of subsidiary alliance. Number one, under the system of the subsidiary alliance, the princely states would continue to rule, but rule their territory, but had to disband their army, as the states were given an assurance of protection from the British in times of their crisis, in times of their problems. So British troops were permanently stationed in the territory of such princely states of the Indian ruler who accepted the alliance. That princely states who accepted the terms of the alliance were allowed to maintain a group of British troops, to maintain the British troops at their own cost, provided the British would protect the sovereignty of the state from being attacked by any foreign powers, or from being suppressed, from being faced any kind of problems at the time of internal revolts. So British would protect them from all sides, provided they would have to maintain a small number of British troops in their territory at their own cost. And second term, it was also mentioned there, the kingdoms had to maintain these troops. If the troops were not maintained, a part of the princely states' territory was taken away, and revenues, whatever they acquired, that part were used to maintain the troops of the British. That means the princely states who accepted the terms of the subsidiary alliance, by accepting the terms of the subsidiary alliance, if any princely states failed to maintain a group of British troops, or a small number of British troops, or British troops, in that case the British would weaken them by way of taking by way of taking their power of collecting revenues from their territories, and by collecting the revenues of revenues and taxes of that particular state, they would utilize it in maintaining their army, their troops. That means the state would come indirectly under the control of the British. So by this way, so many princely states came under the control of the British. The states would have, the states which had no, fixed principle, but signed the terms of the subsidiary alliance. They were forcefully, these states came under the control of the British. This feature helped Lord Wellesley to organize a strong army in India and to extend the British influence and power throughout Indian subcontinent. In course of time, under such principles, under such terms and conditions of the subsidiary alliance, so many Indian kings came under their control and became dependent on the British. They French from India and transformed the company into a sovereign power. And by this way, so many Indian rulers initially, some princely states did not want to sign the subsidiary alliance, and those who did not sign, the British followed a policy of torture, the policy of torture, and indirectly they started a policy of repression for them. How? By sending British force, by threatening them from time to time that your areas, of that much areas, there was no system, there was no administration, most of the people of that area were not happy, so you fail to establish law and order in the country. If you fail to establish law and order in the country, then the British would interfere. The British would establish law and order in the country. So by taking the policy of by way of taking such policy, they decided to acquire some important princely states, those who did not sign the terms of the subsidiary alliance. As a result of it, some princely states felt that it was not right for them to antagonize the policies of the British. That's why it should be better for them if they would sign the terms of the subsidiary alliance. The relationship between the princely states and the British East India Company would be strengthened, and in that case, the British East India Company would become their friends. But ultimately, although they were afraid whether they would become their friend, but still some of them remained silent, and those who signed the terms of the subsidiary alliance, accepted it, ultimately their territories also came under the British control indirectly, because the British forced them to spend money for the maintenance of British troops. The amount of money they demanded in the beginning, the troops which were installed there in the name of maintenance, mismanagement, while maintaining the British troops, in bringing allegations that you are unable to maintain the British troops correctly. That's why you have to spend much more amount of money for the maintenance of British troops. Otherwise, we would force you. We would utilize the right to collect revenues of your states, of your territory, and utilize it for the welfare of British East India Company and for the maintenance of British troops. By that, only because of that reason, and under such threatening of the British East India Company, many princely states, as a result of it, had become had come under the control of British East India Company. They had nothing to do. They were forced to accept the subsidiary alliance, and as a result of it, the British were able to enhance their power, to expand their territory throughout the Indian subcontinent, and the policy and their aggressive policy, their expansionist policy, also made them very much wealthy, both financially and financially and politically. And by this way, British East India Company became a great company, a very powerful company of Indian subcontinent. And afterwards, the next day, I shall teach you the remaining part of this lesson. Before I complete the teaching, once again, I would like to analyze the following points. Expansion of the East India Company. East India Company from the year 1757 to 1857 became a very powerful company of India, powerful company as a result of it. After the Battle of Plassey, after defeating the Battle of Buxar, the Confederate army of Mir Qasim, Shah Alam II and Sujauddullah, they actually gained real political power and utilized and extended their territories very rapidly. The rapid growth of expansion helped them to be powerful politically and economically or financially. And then expansion under Lord Wellesley, one by one, Governor General was sent from British East India Company headquarters, England, and they adopted the policy of expansion. Their expansionist policy helped East India Company to be more and more powerful. They acquired political power, they acquired, financial ability, and ultimately India became many Indian states, many Indian rulers, they indirectly or directly came under the British control. Lord Wellesley, as a Governor General, adopted a policy of, subsidiary alliance, This subsidiary alliance helped British East India Company to expand their territories throughout Indian subcontinent. So many princely states came under their control, and they were forced to sign the terms of the subsidiary alliance. And under the term of the subsidiary alliance, the Britishers offered the princely states. The British East India Company offered help to the princely states under princely states. How? During the time when the princely states would be attacked by any external power, or there would be an internal revolt in their area, in their province, in their state, the British would come forward in order to protect their state, provided they would have to maintain British troops at their own costs. That means certain numbers of British troops would be installed there at the cost of that very princely states. And another point they also added, another term also they added, that was, if they failed to maintain the British troops at their cost, company would take out their right to collect taxes and revenues of their respective provinces, respective states, and instead of them, company would start collecting taxes and revenues in order to maintain their troops. And as a result of it, so many Indian princely states came under their control under such terms and conditions of the subsidiary alliance. Up to this, my dear students, thank you.